Welcome to Everyday Counseling, a podcast about understanding emotional patterns as they show up in everyday life. In this episode, we'll cover what repair really looks like after conflict, why it matters more than avoiding a disagreement, and why going first can feel so difficult even when you care about the connection. After conflict tips over, there's usually a quiet aftermath. Sometimes it's silence, sometimes it's distance. Sometimes it's a tense normality where both people act as if nothing happened. Repair does not begin with perfection, it begins with someone deciding the connection matters more than being right. That decision can feel uncomfortable. You might recognize this moment. The argument has ended, but something is still hanging in the air. You replay parts of it in your head. You think, I did not mean it like that, or I reacted too quickly, but you hesitate. Going first feels risky. With a partner, you might walk into the kitchen and say, earlier that got heated. Even that sentence feels exposed. You're lowering your guard. With a sibling, repair might look like sending a message late in the evening. I think we both got frustrated. Not dramatic, not emotional, just acknowledging. With a friend, it might be lighter. I feel that conversation went sideways. I didn't want it to sit between us. Repair is not always an apology. An apology says, I was wrong. Repair says, the connection matters. Sometimes you were not entirely wrong. Sometimes the disagreement had valid points on both sides. Repair is not about erasing that. It is about restoring safety. At work, repair might look like, I think I became defensive in that meeting. I want to clarify what I meant. It signals accountability without collapse. In parenting, repair can be powerful. A parent saying to a child, I raised my voice. That was not helpful. Let's start again. Teaches something important. It models that conflict does not equal rupture forever. What makes repair difficult is pride and protection. After escalation, both people often feel justified, both feel misunderstood. Waiting for the other person to initiate can become a silent standoff. The longer the silence, the heavier it becomes. Research from John Gottman's work suggests that successful relationships are not defined by the absence of conflict, but by the presence of repair attempts. Small bits to reconnect, a softened tone, a brief touch, a line of humour. Sometimes repair is subtle. A cup of tea made without words, a change in tone, or a short message saying, are we okay? But repair must contain acknowledgement. Ignoring conflict entirely is not repair, it's avoidance. Real repair includes recognition that something fell off, even if it is brief. There is also the matter of timing. Trying to repair while someone is still flooded rarely works. When emotion is high, listening is low. Waiting until both people have cooled slightly increases the chance of success. This is why some people repair better after a short pause. Not hours of withdrawal, but space to think clearly. Repair also requires flexibility. If the first attempt is rejected, that does not always mean the relationship is broken. It may mean the other person is not ready yet. In families, repeated arguments often linger because no one feels safe enough to initiate repair. Everyone waits. In friendships, distance grows when conflict is left unnamed. In long-term partnerships, unresolved moments accumulate quietly. Repair interrupts accumulation. It does not mean the same issue will never appear again, but it prevents emotional residue from building. One important distinction here is tone. I said sorry. What else do you want? That's not repair. I can see that upset you. That was not my intention. Carries something different. Repair restores emotional footing. It signals that disagreement does not threaten the bond. And often, once repair happens, something shifts. The conversation that follows is calmer, more honest, less defensive. Both people know they can return from rupture. In the next episode, we'll explore why some arguments repeat over and over, even when repair has happened before, and what keeps certain disagreements unfinished beneath the surface.